Hi, my name is Kate. I'm also known as Two Little Kits, and welcome to my FlossTube. I have 6 works in progress to share with you today. I have a new pre-order style pattern that I'm trying on my website of a design that I'm very excited about, and hopefully you are too, and other stuff that I've written notes about. So let's get started. I need to actually keep my notes up, which would help. So let me go back to those. Okay, we're going to start with the piece that I'm very excited about. I haven't done the thumbnail for this FlossTube. Usually I take the photo of the thumbnail first, but I'm still deciding on which picture I want to do, so it could be the thumbnail. I don't know. But basically I have as of today, when I release the FlossTube, a pre-order for a new pattern that will be coming out, it'll be released, I should say, next week, next Monday. And yeah, I'm excited. I hope you are too. And I got the impression that a lot of you were based on last FlossTube's episode. So it's this piece here. This is going to be called No Hiding, and it's the K-pop Demon Hunters, which is Huntrix, and then it has lyrics from one of their songs, which is Golden, and it has up here little Korean symbols, I would guess you'd call it. I don't know if it's like Japanese where they call it kanji, but it has Korean up here, which says Honmoon, which is like a thing within the movie. It's hard to explain if you haven't seen the movie, so go watch the movie, it's really good. And it has the characters' names that match up with their hair or their outfit. So this is Rumi, Mira, and Zoe, so it's kind of backwards, but Rumi is the main character, so I wanted to sort of keep her stuff in the middle. So this, hopefully it's in focus. I believe it is. My camera is being a little bit difficult. This is available for pre-order. I'm doing a pre-order because I haven't had a chance to finish doing the PDF that you will actually get. And I don't want to keep this to myself any longer. I'm excited about it. I want to get hype about it. Basically, I like having my FlossTubes release on one Monday, and then the following Monday I have either a week off or a new pattern release. And so this is a FlossTube Monday, and next week will be a pattern Monday. Hopefully that makes sense. So you can get the pre-order for this. The link is in the description below. Let me know what you think. I will do a sneak peek of the back because it is hilarious. So the board, because I did this a little different. Normally I don't fold over and do the sort of grid stitching style thing, but I wasn't set on the board that I'd used for this. So yeah, but because it's thick in the corners, it won't fit the regular frame backing, which is, this bit here, that it won't fit and have the little notches here sit in the frame. So that's a little sneak peek, and you don't see that when I put up the listing photos, but just know how ridiculous it looks. And it's got my little miniature certificate of authenticities, which are upside down as well, just to add to the chaos. But yeah, that's the piece. I really like it, and I'm going to be working on the Saja boys. I have a design very close to being finished for those. If the pre-order thing works out well, I'll be doing that again. So yeah, let me know what you think. I don't know what to do with that piece. I want to put it up just because I think it's really cute. I think my husband would hate me. He thinks K-pop Demon Hunters is silly and doesn't understand the songs because he hasn't watched the movie in its entirety. I think he would be like, why, if I put it up somewhere in our house? Maybe I'll put it up in the girls' bathroom, because they really like the movie a lot and they really like the songs a lot. So continuing on with stuff that's new to Two Little Kits, I have a new pattern that's available as of last week. It is my Zodiac Libra pattern, which is part of the Zodiac series that I've been doing since April. I have it here, hang on. So this one's not in its frame because the frame shares throughout this whole series. I only have one of the frame, but it's this piece here. So this is available on my website. The link will be in the description as well. Yeah, I'm officially more than halfway through the series, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, that's available on my website and on my Etsy and my Ko-fi if you prefer to use those. that's perfectly fine. I understand what it's like to be a bit iffy with someone's website, but I do use Shopify, so it is safe, I promise. Other stuff that's new on my website is some blog posts that I have written. I don't have my computer on right now, so I'm using my phone. So the first one is, if you think a messy desk means failure, think again. This one's like a personal view of my desk, and it's actually, my desk is actually in a pretty decent state. It is not perfect, but I have tidied it up since I took the photo that I used in the header and within the post itself. Basically, I wrote the post because I have seen for a very long time sort of inspo desk posts where it's this immaculate minimalist desk that has like barely anything on it, and I don't know, somehow the people are creative. What do they use? I don't know, because you don't see any of the stuff, but I wanted to show that it's okay to be the opposite. Use myself as an example where I get stuff done. I am inspired and I'm creative in amongst my chaos that is my desk. So hopefully you think it's inspiring and helpful. Helpful is the right word there. The next blog post I have is, did DMC 868 ever exist? Spoiler, no. I got a question from someone through my website asking if I could help them locate a discontinued DMC floss, which was DMC 868. And I was like, I've never heard of this number before. I will Google that and check it out, and discovered that it is like one of those Mandela effect things where people think it actually exists, but it actually never did exist. So I wrote a blog post about it because there wasn't a lot explaining this confusing phenomenon regarding a floss that doesn't exist, and my hypotheses on where it came from that it supposedly did exist. And the last blog post is team cross stitch or team embroidery, cast your vote. So this is a little post. It's basically just a link to my Ko-fi page where I did a little poll on what you would prefer, either cross stitch or embroidery, and I also did the option of I can't choose. I actually haven't looked at the results, which will be finished pretty soon, I think. I think it was like late Monday, so when I release this, fingers crossed, there will still be a little bit more time to vote. There hasn't been many votes, which is fine, and I can't actually see it because I'm not logged in. So let me log in. So we've got a tie between cross stitch and I can't choose just one. So yeah, that's it. That was that blog post. It was just a little link to the Ko-fi poll. That's the word. All right, let's move on to works in progress, because I've got a lot and I'm excited to share. I have been doing a lot of stitching. I'm also really itchy in one of my sutures from my surgery last year. It turned into a keloid scar and it's really itchy today. So I apologize if I start like scratching my stomach. Anyway, works in progress. What should we start with? Let's do my flower meadow because I actually want to talk about it a little bit. So this will have a little bit of a tangent, but here's my flower meadow. I am a day behind. I haven't done today's flower, but I'm caught up aside from today. Well, I'm staying caught up, I should say. Staying caught up. I am feeling pretty good about this. I mentioned it in the last FlossTube just how different this and the flower field look, where this one's a lot more vibrant and dark compared to the flower field. The flower field is much more pastel sort of ish. Now that I've like looked at that one and then, you know, continued working on this one, I really prefer the colors of that one, of the flower field. But yeah, that's where I'm at, and I've got all this space at the bottom, thankfully. Thankfully, I'll line it up so you can see. I keep meaning to look, and I should do notes for next FlossTube on just how the breakdown of my dice rolls have been, because I feel like there are a couple of flowers that I just never stitch, or at least, you know, it feels like I never stitch. But I obviously do occasionally because I've done every flower at least once, but there's some that I'm just like, I haven't done that flower in so long. Yeah, and the colors, they're a little bit harder to remember, the colors of which ones I've done and which ones I haven't done for a while. But yeah, there's definitely some flowers where I'm like, am I ever going to roll that again? Anyway, so the tangent that I want to talk about is, I think in the last FlossTube, I talked about the fact that I would love to make these DIY cross-stitch patterns into a trilogy. So I've actually been working on 20 new flowers. I may or may not overlay an idea of the flowers while I'm talking, so sorry if I don't. But I'm definitely struggling a little bit on getting to 20. There's a couple of flower shapes that I'm really happy with. There's one that sort of dips like upside down kind of thing, where, you know, it comes up, all of the flowers have to come up from the ground. So it comes up and then it curls and then it hangs. And that one's really unique. I don't have any other flowers in either of the two, the flower field or the flower meadow, that are like that. There's one that's little on the ground that's kind of like this one here, where it's really flat and squat. And I really liked this. Sorry about my nails, by the way. I really liked this on the flower meadow. I didn't have a flower like that on the field, but it breaks up the height really well. So you can see where I've done them. So there's one here and here and here and here and here. Like it gives it some air, if that makes sense. So I have another flower that's like that. And there was another one that I really liked, and I can't remember what it looks like now to just try and describe it. But there are a few that I have pulled aside, and I think I've done like 23 flowers. So there are 3 that I'm like, nah, I don't know about them. And then there are some in the 20 that I'm still kind of umming and ahhing about. I do have plenty more time to work on it before I want to release it, because I would want to release it kind of near the start of December so that people can get it and get ready for the new year. Same with when I did my flower field and flower meadow. Well, flower meadow was a bit different. I released that in July last year because I wanted to give people a chance to do a dual 6-month kind of thing. Anyway, yeah, so that's in the works. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd also love to know name ideas. It has to be flower something, and it has to be just 2 words. So I'd love it to be the same theme as field and meadow, where it's like a big sprawl of flowers. I know I could do like flower bouquet or flower collection, or probably not collection, because that imply the collection would be the 3 patterns together. But you know what I mean, like a sprawl of flowers. What's another word that I could use there? Yeah, let me know any other thoughts that you'd have. I just think groups of 3 of things are so much better than a group of 2, because that's just a pair. So yeah, I am trying to work on that and get that ready. Fingers crossed. So back to works in progress. There's my flower meadow. What's this one? This one is, oh, jumping. This one is Twigs and Tea by Fine Frog Stitching. Oh my gosh, my nose. I'm just gonna scratch my nose behind this. So 2 new parts came out. I think 2 parts. Yeah, 2 parts came out since last FlossTube. The teapot and then the stuff on the table. This one came out just this past Friday, and I got that done in like 45 minutes. It was really fast. And I even messed up my counting, so I had to unpick a couple of stitches. But it's very cute. And one thing I really, really like, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you see how like the steam goes in front of the frame? You can see that the stitches in front of the frame are just slightly darker, and I think that's perfect. I love that. I was actually thinking that maybe I would go in and re-stitch them in the brown colors and then do like 1 strand over the top, but I didn't need to because she's done them in a different color anyway. So yeah, this one's really cool. I'm looking forward to doing something more like this goose in the future. The little bits and pieces on the table are just really quick which is nice to get, like I said, with, because this is Fine Frog Stitching. So this is the one that, this is the designer, this is Steph, the designer. She did the Court of Crows. And so they were really quick little parts that I could stitch up within a day or two. I mentioned back then when I was working on that they were really good hits of dopamine because I got them done really fast, and yeah, and that's what this is as well. So that's 4 parts released for that stitch along currently. My next work in progress is, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, I thought so. Superstitious Stitches. So I completely forgot that I was going to be doing a Witchy pattern for half of September. I need to rephrase that. For half of September, I completely forgot that I had this project to work on. So I did remember and pick it up this past week. By the way, my nose is so itchy and I don't know why. I promise you I'm not picking my nose, I'm just rubbing it. Because it's really sore. I've got a cut like right there because I had to blow my nose a bunch the other day. It was just, I suddenly had like an attack of allergies and my nose was just like a faucet, and I blew my nose so much that it got raw here. So, ow. Anyway, this is Suspicious Stitches. I finished the black and I'm currently looking for a hoop before I, well, not before I continue, but while I continue. I am thinking, do I have any? Hang on. I definitely want an oval hoop, because like, how perfect is that? It needs to be a little bit bigger, of course, and not on the side. So I don't have a hoop that works with it right now. Yeah, it'll be in an oval hoop. I do like those faux wood ones. I just don't have any on me right now. Anyway, that's where it's at. I'm gonna do the off-white next, and then there's a bunch of back stitching to do in a bunch of different sizes and in both colors. But this is just a 2-color piece. It's black and off-white. Yeah, it's cute. I'll get it done, fingers crossed, before Halloween, and that'll just be like a cute piece for Halloween. Oh, I just zipped it up, but I left the pattern out. I need to just reorganize myself. What do we got next? This one is Extraordinary Birds by Lola Crow Cross Stitch. So I'm still plodding along, trying to get through this one, but I'm now up to part 4. Wow, I thought I was further than that. Part 4, which is this big cassowary here. So I did finally finish these little birds like underneath the cassowary. I'll just hold it up with both hands. God, it's so big. And trying to show this on a horizontal camera is hard. But yeah, the cassowary is enormous and there was a lot of black. So I'm getting through it pretty quickly, and it's got eggs. Oh, my needle dropped. It's got eggs. This gap down the bottom here is its eggs. Oh, stupid nose. So that one, if you don't know, is a stitch along, or was a stitch along. It finished earlier this year. I just couldn't keep up because I was busy, which is fine. My next stitch along, because I'm doing multiple stitch alongs, this one's active, is Flower Dragon Meadow by Flossie Fox Shop, and I need to get a wriggle on with this one because the next part's going to come out when? Friday, I think? I'm going to look it up. Hang on. It's supposed to come out on Friday, but she usually releases the day earlier, so it'll come out on Thursday. And I've got a lot to stitch still. I'm still stitching the dragon. This was part 1, all of this stuff here, and then this is part 2, and she's releasing each part in each month. And this is a cherry dragon and a wisteria dragon. How about I go like this? Oh, there we go. Now I can actually hold it up properly. They look really cool. They take up most of the bottom, if not all of the bottom. Should be good to see what comes next. But I don't think the parts will be anywhere near as big. Just looking at the dots. You can't really see the dots very well because they are blue. But there's only four more parts, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this is a 6-part stitch along. This seems like more than a third. Anyway, I'm rambling. I need to stop rambling. I don't want to be editing forever. And oh my gosh, see the time up there. All right, my last work in progress is one of mine, like my upcoming things. So the backstory is I was invited to join in on a collective, what's the word? Not giveaway, group, like project for a charity. That's the word. I could not think of the freaking word. And it's, I don't think the charity's been decided just yet, but it'll be for literacy in some capacity, because everybody is designing a bookmark. I've never done a bookmark design before, but I was like, heck yeah, I want to join in. And so everybody got given a genre to design in. And I completely forgot to vote for my genre. So I got a very small selection to pick from, and I chose romance.
Hi, so I know this is a little different looking, so I apologize, but basically I went and checked the terms, I guess, the terms and conditions of the collection, of the collective that I'm a part of, and it was requested that I don't share any previews, like visual previews of the piece that I'm working on. So I have to actually go in and blur out what I was trying to show you. So I apologize. It makes it a little bit more boring, but just know that the actual release is going to be coming soon. So you will be able to see the design finished in its entirety eventually, but soon. So again, apologies that it's not what you would be expecting of my FlossTube. Just know that I made an oops. So yeah, let's get back to the video.
So this is my piece. I'm stitching it on 18 count because I had a lot to squeeze in, and a lot of the designers are actually stitching on small counts so that they could fit it in. But looking at it, I'm learning. So looking at it, I definitely want to make my bookmarks taller if I'm going to make them this wide. I'm not upset about this size right now, but yeah, it's just something that I will keep in mind. Sounds like the dryer is done. But yeah, I've got a woman and a man and a heart, and there'll be a lock and a key and flowers, and it'll say happily ever after, and it's got some gems and extra little hearts, and what else? On top of these, like this pink area, and on this area here, you'll be able to put your initial, like letters, 2 letters. So I'm going to do mine as K and J because that's me and my husband, but I'll be providing a very simple alphabet that you can do your own initials basically, and I've designed it so that the man and the woman can be switched, or it can be a woman and a woman, or a man and a man. So it'll be a design that you can like customize to your own unique life. Yeah, I think it's really cute. Let me know what you think. It's going to be called Ever After. It's definitely not going to be the only bookmark I ever do. That it was really fun to work within the constraints that I set. So it's actually 80 by 33, or 33 by 80 I should say, because width and height. And it does have a lot of colors. I think it's like 16 colors or something like that. So for its size, it uses up way more colors than I usually would do. I think it's really cute, and yeah, I'll obviously link the charity like collection when it is set up. I don't remember when it's happening, I'll be quite honest. I will try and like, maybe if I look it up before I edit, then I'll put it down here or something. Progress on a thing. So I've been doing, yeah, a bunch of random designs lately, you know, with the K-pop Demon Hunter stuff and this bookmark, and I've got to get a wriggle on with the next Zodiac, which I have designed as like a freehand design. I just need to finish it as a cross-stitch pattern and then get started stitching on it, and yeah, that'll come out in like 3 weeks, I think. I should know, but I don't remember exactly when. But anyway, that's all my works in progress. The last 2 little kits thing that I want to talk about, and I'll need to get up and actually go and get something, is the State Fair. I entered some pieces into the Washington State Fair this year, and I got them back. I didn't have them, all the results, last FlossTube. I went and picked them up like 2 days after I released my FlossTube. So I get to share with you how I went. Let me go and get the pieces. So I entered in 3 pieces this year. This is the first one. This one's called Believe in Yourself, or Believe Yeah, Believe in Yourself. I kind of named it that. It was like Design 16 or something from the book. I think it was Cross Stitch for the Soul, or it's either Cross Stitch for the Soul or Cross Stitch for the Heart. It's by Emma Congdon. I stitched this on 18 count. I did a couple of changes to the colors. I got this. So I got an honorable mention. I like to think that they saw this, which was the back of it, and maybe that encouraged them a little bit with how I had done. I have all the little pieces of paper that tells me the information, like their feedback. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this one, the handwriting, because the ladies that judge the stuff are quite a bit older, the handwriting is kind of hard to read sometimes. So this one got an 83%. Craftsmanship was 35%. Degree of difficulty was 13 out of 20. So sorry, 35 out of 40 for craftsmanship, 13 out of 20. Design was 20 out of 20. Presentation was 15 out of 20, so 83%. No ticks for suggested areas of improvement, so woohoo. And the comments say stitch tension throughout a couple of stitches, and in brackets bottom green leaf, so this one here, have twisted top stitches. And like, I look at it and I'm like, I don't see them. I see a few on this leaf, not this one though. Anyway, so that's the feedback I got. So I got an honorable mention. The next piece that I entered was this one here. So this one is called Fox and Butterflies, and it's by Pigeon Coop Designs. It got an honorable mention. So this one I entered into the even weave judging, which was picture done on linen weave up to 24 inches. So this one's scorecard, I got craftsmanship was 31 out of 40%, degree of difficulty was 14 out of 20%, design was 20 out of 20, and presentation was 20 out of 20, so I got 85%. I got proper tension for suggested areas of improvement, which I can understand that. I didn't stitch this piece with the intent of actually entering it, so yes, I can get that. There's a couple of stitches that are like pretty janky. The comments were clean background, no carried threads visible, practice consistent tension. So the carried threads thing is actually something that I'm really proud of. I take the time with all of my cross stitches to not carry threads very far, and if I do, I like weave them, not with even weave, but especially with Ada where it's easier. I carry them through the weave so that they don't pop through the holes. You can't see the threads through the holes. So getting that feedback was definitely like, yay, somebody noticed. But yeah, so that was the piece that I entered. And then the last piece that I entered was this one here. So this is Flossie Fox Shop's stitch along called Farming Magic. This one I finished late 2023, so it was pushing it being able to enter it. Oh, you can't see that, sorry. It was pushing it being able to enter it this year, because I did actually like sign it, and you can see like the little signature down here, it says TLK 23. But anyway, this one got an honorable mention. So my feedback for this one, I still have it attached to the back of my frame. This one got craftsmanship as 35 out of 40, degree of difficulty is 14 out of 20, design is 20 out of 20, and presentation is 15 out of 20 for an 84%. So I got an 85, an 84, and an 83. My suggested areas of improvement were proper tension, practice consistency, and on-grain framing. Off grain in frame. I think it means that it's like, it's bowed, maybe? I was rushing to frame this. Comments. Well done keeping open canvas clean. No visible traveling threads between motifs. Practice stitch construction for consistent tension and laid parallel threads. I think that just means like twisted threads as seen. So again, I stitched all of them without the thought of entering any of these. into the state fair. So especially with this one, I'm really pleased with getting all of them. I'm really pleased with getting an honorable mention for all of them and not like a placement. I definitely entered as a last thought. Like I didn't sort of stitch something with the intent, I'm going to enter this into the state fair. Like, you know what I mean? Like with purpose. When I stitched this, I wasn't thinking about twisted threads and tension and anything like that. Again, with the threads carrying thing with this one, this was a huge one to continuously cut off threads all the time, because this one changes colors a lot, as you can probably tell. I mean, it's an awesome piece. It looks amazing. There's so much color and so much life and so much to it, but there was so many changes of color, and there was like 9 parts, I think, or 8 parts to it, because it was a stitch along. Anyway, so I got 3 of these, yay, and a participation. Ta-da! So that's pretty cool. I'll be hanging those up. I wanted to keep them so that I could show them off here, but I'll be hanging those up with my other ones up there. I need to write, because I can write on the backs. I need to make sure that I wrote 2023 on my last participation one. So yeah, I'm going to keep this in my lap because I don't have room on my desk to put it down properly. So that's my state fair results. Ta-da! To add in one thing that I have been actually working on starting and trialing is with social media, is a weekly video that's short form video and like vertical format. It'll be like a little talk show kind of thing. So keep an eye on that. I'm gonna see how I can successfully publish it on YouTube and on Spotify. Like it'll work on Instagram and TikTok, no problem. And I think YouTube should be fine because YouTube's changed to being longer than a minute for shorts. But anyway, so that's something that will be coming, and I definitely want feedback on that when I do start releasing them. I'm thinking it'll be on Wednesdays that I release those videos, so check those out when they do come. Hopefully the first one will be this week, but yeah, we'll see how things go. And the last thing to talk about, and oh my gosh, I've seen the time on my thing and it's going to take me so long to edit this. So the last thing is IRL stuff, and we will power through this, and there isn't a lot to talk about anyway. The 3 things that I have written down is I donated blood, so yay, and I still have, like, I got a decent little bruise sprouting from it because that was this past Friday. I am super paranoid now whenever I go to donate blood that my iron levels are too low. So every time they do the finger prick and they check your iron levels and it succeeds, I'm just like, yes. The next thing is that I did the hard thing. I pushed through the negative self-talk, and I finally went back to martial arts after, I think it's been a 6-month break. So round of applause for me. Yay. It was really, really hard. It was an hour class. I didn't do one of the 40-minute classes. It was one of the hour ones. My body was so mad at me the next day and yesterday, because I'm recording this on Sunday, because I was so sore. That's why. And I still am. I'm actually like, I have a lidocaine patch on my neck and shoulder because I have pulled something in my neck. So I did miss class yesterday because I was so sore from Thursday's class. But I did it. I went back. Everybody was so happy to see me, which was just like really nice and really helpful for me to like push back against the social anxiety that I was feeling. I did it. I didn't die. I did it. Hooray. So tell me I did a good job in the comments, please. And the last thing I did, which again, I need you to tell me I did a good job in the comments. I made so many phone calls this week and booked so many appointments that I needed to book, just like everyday kind of things, like the cats to the vet, my car service, dermatology appointment, just like all these things that I've needed to do and have put off. I finally made all those phone calls and did them. There's one more phone call that I need to make. I couldn't get to it in time, but I can do that tomorrow. So success. And so now my next like 3 weeks are packed with appointments, but it'll be worth it. So hooray. And that is everything. Oh my gosh, I thought this would be a really short FlossTube, but I made it really long. Hopefully I can edit it within one night, because again, as I said, I'm recording this on Sunday and I really want to get it out. And of course, my kids don't have school tomorrow. It's a pupil-free day, so that's not helpful. So this could be released on Tuesday, and if it is, it is, and I apologize, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for being here. Please let me know your thoughts about everything that I've chatted about, especially the no hiding design that I'll have as pre-order on my website. That's the K-pop Demon Hunters piece that I shared at the start. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not already, and to leave a comment, even if it's just to say, hey, I watched all the way through and thanks so much. Love your face. Thanks for being here. And until next time, I will see you around the internet. Bye.